Grab your crash test dummies, wargamers, because today we're taking 2x2 Napoleonics for a test drive. Now I call it Napoleon-ish because I'm actually using it for an imaginations set in the black powder era. The technology is somewhere between the 7 Years' War and Napoleonics, which really just means it's Napoleonics without horse artillery. Today I'm going to be playing the first ever live game of this, and you're going to be learning the game with me as we go. It's fairly simple, but just to kind of bring you up to speed, these are 2mm figures from Irregular Miniatures, and they are painted in the yellow and white. They represent the Austrians, and what we have here is an army level game. This is a headquarters to help you keep track of the flow of the battle. You've got headquarters. This is line infantry. You can see we've got 6 units of those. Each of these represents about a brigade. I've got 2 heavy infantry. You can consider them, I guess, grenadiers, perhaps. These guys over here are artillery, heavy cavalry, and light cavalry. The heavy cavalry has 3 rows of 8. The light cavalry has 3 rows of 6. So, and as you can see, the biggest difference is that the light cavalry are scattered a little bit more than the heavy cavalry. There are your not quite Austrians. Let's take a look at Russians. As you can see, my terrain is not quite to scale. These guys are not fighting in the Pacific Northwest. These are not the Great California Redwoods, but that's all right because the scale will work out just fine for what we're doing. For Russians, you've got a headquarters. Again, your general here is marked. The green on green makes it a little hard to see, but you can see there's 3 generals. He's got a flagman over here and a couple of messengers. We've got a couple of light infantry to support. There's our light infantry. They kind of disappear as light infantry do. 9 units of line infantry, and they are supported by 2 artillery and 2 heavy cavalry. So much more foot-based. We've got a good mix of dudes. And then let me just put a couple of these Austrians on either side so you can see, even at the 2mm level, it's very easy to tell the difference between who's who and who is not who. In addition, I have placed my troops a little bit back on the back half of each of these 1-inch stands. And then to help, I actually labeled them. So the back of each stand has a label with a little white band, so that'll help you tell which way is front. Of course, if we zoom in on each individual unit here, flagmen to the front, and then this area in the front serves a very important rules purpose. In 2x2 Napoleonics, once you've fired, you are disordered. See the little white cloud of smoke? Bam! They are now pinned in place, and they can't move until they get their act together. And to do that, they need to have their leader, let's go ahead and take the leader, run up behind them, slap them around, and say, get your act together. And then they will reload, and now they can move as needed. That is a good simulation of how the foot troops acted in Napoleonics. You really want to save that first shot to make it count, because once they fire off, they get distracted and they aren't nearly as flexible. So you'll see that as we go through the game. I built each of these army lists based on 40 AP, and we're going to roll a d6 for each side. Green is for the Russians, and yellow is for the Austrians, and we're going to make sure we get a decent roll. Whoops. This is why we need dice trays, people. So, this is interesting. We got a tie. Now, normally you only start with 10 AP on the board per side, but with a tie, we re-roll and we add 10 AP. So both sides are going to start with 20 AP on the board, and because the Austrians rolled higher, they are the attacker. All right, Austrians are attacking from this side. Russians are defending this side. They set up 20 AP on this side of the board. So, as you can see, the Russians, they did set up first. They set up artillery, 1 in the town, 1 on the hill. They've got a couple of light infantry down here to try and take these woods. And they've got a couple of line infantry, so they have a nice broad front. On the other hand, the Austrians have refused the left flank. They've got a light cavalry over here to be flexible and to kind of guard their right flank. They've got heavy infantry backed up by the general, and they've got an artillery coming to take the hill, and then these two line infantry are coming to secure this ford. As you can see, we've got 2 fords and a bridge. The bridge is going to be vital. He definitely wants to take that. Now, where this game gets interesting is the placement of the other 20 AP for each group. Now, here's where the generalship really comes in, because the Russian player, as the defender, now has to pick a reinforcement point somewhere on his edge of the board. And of course, he's going to try to come in at the very center. And he's got to predict where and in what order to bring his units in on. In this case, he's going to go ahead and bring line, heavy cavalry, and line infantry, and he's done. With that done, it's the attacker's turn. And the attacker can pick a reinforcement point anywhere along his side of the board or along either flank. So the Austrian apparently has found a crossing somewhere off to the south, because his first reinforcement point is here. He can't be within 6 inches of an enemy unit. So technically, he could make his reinforcement point anywhere beyond here. But he wants to make sure that he's bringing overwhelming force to take out that artillery before it gets to be too much of a hassle. Then we kick back over to the Russians, who say, oh yeah, well, I can match here for that. And their second reinforcement point, again, has to be along the base that they are defending. So in this case, he's going to bring on cavalry first, and then line. Then it becomes the Austrians' turn to pick a second reinforcement point. And the question is whether we go ahead and take that side of the board as well, or do we just bring overwhelming force to bear over here? And I think the answer is we're going to come on the road to get that march bonus. And because I don't know what to expect, I'm going to go, I don't know if you can see this, it's going to be line infantry, light cav, line infantry, heavy cav. That's who's going to come on that road. And again, with the idea of trying to take that artillery. All right, so Russians get the first move, and they can move all of their dudes. They're going to bring this artillery up to here. They can move 2 inches. Foot move 3 inches, and cavalry move either 4 or 5 inches, depending on whether they are heavy or light. At any time, he can roll for reinforcements, and he's going to do that. He's going to roll for reinforcements here just to start things off. Because this is on his back, these guys come on a 3+. So they don't arrive yet, and these guys arrive also on a 3+. So these guys do come on, and that first inch costs an inch. They can move a total of 3 inches, so we'll just go ahead and measure. There's the 3. So they've moved, and we'll bring these guys 3 inches. We'll bring the generals, can move 6, but he's going to stop right there. Light infantry can move 3 inches as well, so they move to there. And line infantry, 3 inches. So that's it for movement for the Russians. Movement kicks on over to our Austrians, who are going to bring up these 2 line infantry to here. They're going to bring their foot artillery to the base of that hill. Because this movement is all on the road, these guys can move 6 inches, which they shall. We'll bring... Okay, first things first. I want to know if these guys come on. Because they're coming on from a flank, they only come on a 4+. I'm really bad at aiming. 5+. So they come on, and then these guys come on a 5+, or a 4+. So they do not come on. They can move a total of 3 inches, but all they're going to do is pivot and turn to get out of the way. So these guys move up. If there's anybody in the way of your rally point, they don't come on. That being the case, let's go ahead and move. This is light cavalry, so they're going to go on over here to support these guys to see if they even come on. So, kaboom, they went ahead and fired, and they're just finding the range. Now, they're pinned. They can't move anymore until the general comes over and removes that, which is fine. I don't think they're going to want to move. They can fire as normal. That's the only shot they've got. So then it kicks over to melee, of which there is none. So play goes back over to the Russians. And the Russians are going to bring this infantry up to here to secure that gap. The line infantry, or the light infantry rather, can move into the woods, which they will. The general is going to head on over here because he thinks that's going to be important. We'll move these guys up 3, and we'll move these guys. I think they're just gonna stay there. So, rolling for reinforcements on a 3+. This heavy cavalry moves 4 inches. Oh, you know what? I forgot. You can come in anywhere within 3 inches of your reinforcement point. Good to know. 4. So they come in, and they're gonna slide over and come in here, so they can get just a little bit closer. Then it's rallying, which they don't have any to do. Then it's Austrians do their shooting, which they don't have any. The infantry only has a range of 1 inch, by the way. And then it's the end of the turn. So the Austrians are going to see if this guy comes on. And on a 4, he does. Since he can come on anywhere up to 3 inches, he's going to come on here, and he's going to move 3 inches to there. He's going to come 3 inches to there. We'll move 3 inches up, right behind, 2 inches to get to there, 4 inches, 4 inches to there. Light cavalry can move 5 inches, and then we got to see if this line infantry comes on, which with a 5 he does. Now he can move 2 inches to there, and because he's on the road, he can move an extra inch, so he moves to there. Turn 3. The Russians go. They're going to bring this heavy cavalry right up to here. They're going to see if they can bring him on. And with a 2, they do not. They'll see if they can bring this heavy cavalry on, and with a 1, they do not. So whoever's commanding those brigades is kind of lollygagging. Then we'll bring infantry up. We're going to refuse that flank. It's going to take them a long time to cross. So we'll bring infantry to there. Light infantry to there. Light infantry to the edge. We'll bring them to the edge too. And this line infantry moves to there. We'll go ahead and bring our general up to make contact. Player 1 rallies units. So for the first time, we have a unit we can rally. He can actually rally anybody within 6 inches, but if he's in base-to-base contact, he gets a +1. You need to roll a 5 or better. With a +1 on a 4 or better, the unit rallies, so the pinned marker goes away, and now they can move again. The Austrians can shoot, but they don't have any shooting to do yet. Russians resolve melee, which they don't have any yet. So we move on to the Austrian movement. We will dice for reinforcements here first. They need a 4+. No. 4+. Yep, so that light infantry comes onto the board. And now for movement. As I said, these guys can get +1 movement because they're on the road, -1 because they're crossing the stream, so they move just 3 inches to there. The light cavalry here moves 4 inches to there, and a 1/5 inch to there. This light cavalry is going to follow up behind them. Wait a minute, that's light cavalry. I got to check. Yep, 2 light cavalry. And then our heavy infantry are going to move 3 inches, 3 inches, and our general just over. They're going to move to that point. Crossing the ford, they can only move 2 inches. We'll call that 2 inches. They're spending their point now to cross. And I think that's it for the Austrians. Now the Russians can shoot. And this artillery is absolutely going to shoot down here. They are further than 3 inches. So it's 3 inches is short range. And 8 inches is maximum range. So they can shoot at either one of these guys. They're going to go ahead and shoot at this unit here. Active player rolls a d6. Modifiers. Artillery at long range. So it's a -1. They are... Target is... downhill. That's a +1. HQ is in base-to-base contact. That's another +1. So we're at a total +1. And that's it. So we're at +1. We roll a d6. And on a 4 or less, we have no effect. So that's that. Let's see if we bring up reinforcements. On a 3+, they come on. And once again, we're going to bring them on over here. And they're going to move 3 inches up to there. So let's see, that's from the board edge, that's 3 inches. Over here, we've got a heavy cavalry chomping at the bit, and they do not come on. Four inches, 3 inches. 3, 3, 3, 1. They're going to wait right there. I think you know why. That's all for the Russian movement. It's going to rally this guy. In contact, we need a 4+. Nope, so he is still pinned, still can't move. And then it's Austrians shoot. They might have a shot at these guys. Let's take a look. 8 inches, yep. They just barely. So, but they're shooting at long range, so it's going to be. I have a nice handy dandy sheet. Look at that, homemade quick reference sheet for 2x2 Napoleonics. Ground scale, by the way, 1 inch equals about 100 yards. Each turn represents about 30 minutes. Austrians shooting. They are artillery at long range, which gives them a -1. They are. Anything else? Target is downhill, that's +1, so it's a straight d6. And they get a 2, which is no effect. And they are confused by the cloud of smoke in front of them. All right. Then it goes to melee, which I don't think we have any. And now it is... Once again, no melees. The Austrian gets to move. So he's going to bring on reinforcements here on a 4+. Nothing. Over on the road, 4+. Gets another line infantry. So he's building up quite a nice little force over here. I wonder if he wants to go ahead and skip 3 inches. He would have to come on the stream. You can't reinforce along a stream, so that's the best he can do. We'll bring these guys up 4 inches. And they come up 4 inches. One turn will bring him to there. Let's see, that's 1. That's a 3-inch movement and a 4th inch. He's got to stop right there. And any other movement? Yeah, of course we got movement. We're going to bring these fellas up here. They're going to move 1 inch, pivot, and move 2 inches to there. We'll pivot and move to contact. Pivot and move to there. All right, now this is interesting. We got a light infantry in that woods, so they're going to wait. They'll move to right there, and the general is going to move to back him up. But he's going to wait a minute because he doesn't want to get pounded by that guy. He doesn't want to get flanked by him. I think that's all the movement that we got for right now. Okay. This is where my inexperience with this era really begins to show. The Russians get to take their shots now. And we'll start, so they've contacted this cavalry. That's a melee for later. The Russians have a shot with this artillery. And at less than 3 inches, they are at short range. So they get +1, oh, 1 inch, wait, +1. So they get +1 for that. +1 for the general, that's 2. +1 for downhill, that's 3. And that's it. So they get a +3 to this roll. And on a 5, this target is now pinned. So they can't move until they are rescued by the general, who's distracted way over there. So that might have been a mistake. They are going to, let's see, do they have a shot? Yeah, they closed within 1 inch. So they actually do have a shot here. This is within range. They are headquarter first volley, so they get a +1, and that's it on this roll. And they're hoping for a 5 or better. So we'll call it a 6. The target is disrupted. So for that, our little, I may need to get a different color so you can see a little better. That means disrupted, and that's a bad thing. If it's disrupted, until it rallies, it cannot fire or move. And when fired upon, you get a bonus. So I guess it's a good thing that he's being supported here, huh? Any other firing? Yeah, he's got to fire. Oh, he's going to fire on him. First fire is +1. And I think that's it. 4 is no effect. So he's pinned. Can't do anything until he is rescued. Again, the general is going to have to move over to have some effect. We might have one more shot over here. We're going to hold off for one more turn, because that might be further than 8 inches. I think that's it for the Russian shooting, which means now we resolve this melee right here. To resolve melee, both sides roll a d6. We do some, then we do some math. Russians get a 2. Total, the unit, let's see, melee modifiers. Heavy cavalry gets a +2. So they're at 4. That's it. So if they're tied, you re-roll. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. Or maybe line infantry shouldn't charge cavalry. Now that I think about it, that was pretty dumb. So the difference of 2 means that the loser routs. And a rout means roll a d6. On a 1 or a 2, the unit is destroyed, or move your maximum distance directly away from the source of the shooting. And then you are disrupted. So they move 3 inches this way, and they are disrupted. See the smoke coming up? Nice little column of smoke. The routing unit may pass through friendly units, but if it ends on a friendly unit, that unit is moved and is pinned. Not good. The follow-up, which he will do, move to contact. And that is the end of the Austrians' turn. Now the Russians get to move. And that means we'll start off by rolling for reinforcements. They come on. And they're going to come on over here. We need to bring some support. So we'll come 2 inches over, and they can move 4 inches to there. And over here, nothing. So then we're going to move to contact here. And that's largely... Are we going to do that? Yes, we are. They're pinned. They cannot move. We'll bring... Senior General... They're going to move 3 inches to there. That's as close as they can get. This light infantry is going to move to their band. It would be really great if they could contact and the light infantry could move to contact as well. But for some reason, I just think it's a mistake to charge light infantry into heavy infantry. I can't imagine that's going to go well. In the meantime, this light infantry is, so they're pinned. This light infantry can only move 3 inches. They're going to come over to help out on this side as well. So they come over this way. And 3 inches up. And we'll move, this general is going to move to there. Now he can't unpin that guy, but now he can unpin him. Player 1 rallies units. In fact, that's where we're at right now. He's got 4+ and 4+. So we'll start here. They rally on a 4+. Nope. And they rally on a 4+. Nope. But at least they had a chance. Now player 2 shoots. So they're disrupted. I don't think they can shoot if they're disrupted. We got a couple of shots over here, though. So we'll come back to that. Let's do these shots over here. We've got a shot with a heavy guard. Guards, Grenadiers, heavy foot. And that gives them a... Does that give them anything? They get a +1 because they're firing their first volley. And they get a +1 because the general is with them. And that's it. So, +2 for this guy. And on a 5, the target is pinned. What if the target is already pinned? It looks like that's no effect. So we have a second shot over here. And that's going to be... Well, first of all, you took your shot. And... You know, I'm not going to shoot with those guys. I'm going to assault with them. They don't have a shot. Nobody else has a shot. Now it's time to do our melee. We have a melee here. And we'll just roll them bones and see what happens. We get a 6 and a 6. With any modifiers, those are just 2 line infantry, so there's nothing fancy going on there. If it's tied, we re-roll. Tied, we re-roll. Russian, difference of 2, loser routes. So they're going to turn directly away. And they're going to run 3 inches away. 1, 2, 3. So they move to there, and they are disrupted. Do we want to follow up with these guys? I think we want to follow up just 2 inches to there. Then we have a melee over here. So we'll roll 2d6. Russians get a 5. The difference of 4. The unit is destroyed. So there's our first casualty. And they have to follow up. So they move 4 inches to there. And they're done. That ends the Russian melee phase. Now the Austrians get to move. They're going to move to contact. In retrospect, that was a mistake. They're not doing anybody any good there. But let's see if we can bring on a light cavalry. And we can, so they're going to move their full 5 inches straight away over here and force them to pursue. If they can survive, these guys might be able to help catch them in a pincer. We'll see if we can bring on this last unit over here. And we can't. Still Austrians moving. Nobody over there. These guys can move. They're going to move to contact. We got 4 inches over here. And now this light cavalry is going to peel off and come this way. This light cavalry is supporting that line infantry. And I'm liking where we're at over here. That's all the movement. We're going to try to unrally these guys. And this headquarters does not. You know, actually, he should move to here. Well, no, he doesn't want to be too vulnerable. Would it be great if we had one more guy over here, wouldn't it? Yeah, we'll leave him right there where we can do some good. So, nothing happens there. Now it's time for the Russians to shoot. And the cannon over here is absolutely going to take a shot at this line infantry. And on a 4 with a... They're at short range, are they? No, they're not. They are shooting at line infantry. They have no bonuses. So a total of 4 is no effect. And they are pinned. Not that it matters a whole lot. The Russians also have a shot here, and they're in trouble. Do they shoot at the cavalry? No, they're going to shoot at the heavy. They're going to shoot at him. And a roll of 5. It's not first fire, so it's a straight 5. The target is pinned. Well, the target was already pinned. What are you going to do? Any other firing? We got a shot here. They can fire at those guys. And in this case, they're going to get the +1 for first fire. They're also going to get the +1 because the target is disrupted. So that's a total of +2 for that shot. Oh, that's not their dice. And on a 4, it's no effect. And they're now pinned, so they can't move anymore. That is it for them. You can't fire through friendly units, so that cannon can't fire. And then we are on to the Austrian resolving melee. They have 1 over here. And we'll do the thing where we roll first. The Austrians get a really good roll there. Total bonus here. There's no bonuses for either of those guys. The pinning doesn't matter. Difference of 4 means that they are now disrupted. So they turn away, and they run 3 inches to get away, and it doesn't work because this unit follows up. Which which will buy them some time. That's it for that melee. We've got one more melee over here. This heavy infantry has a +1, and I think that's the only bonus. Yep, so the yellow die has a +1. 6 and a 6 is a tie, we re-roll. And so that's a 3 and a 5. With a 2, the loser routs. We got a lot of that going on. So they move their full move 4 inches directly away, and they are disrupted. Way to go. If they want to follow up, which they do not, the Russians roll for reinforcements here. 3 inches. Let's move the 3 and bring these guys 3 inches there. 3 plus here. They're going to come up to there. That's the graveyard. And then heavy cavalry charges up. They just came on. The headquarters is going to move 6, 7 inches to there. This line infantry moves 3 inches to there. They're pinned so they can't move, and this cavalry is going to charge to there and catch them. There's no flank bonus for that, but they're disrupted, so that's not going to go well for them. The Austrians do have a chance to open fire if they have any units that can fire. I don't think they do, though. These guys can fire, so they're going to do that. They're at +1 because of the headquarters, and at -1 because they're pinned, so it's just a straight D6, hoping for a 5 or a 6. And on a 5, the target is pinned. Actually, a 6 is the only thing that would have done them any good. So the target is still pinned, and that's it for the Austrians. Now we get to do some melee. We will start with... Oh, you know... Shoot. No, shoot. There's still more movement. Still more movement. I didn't do it. These guys wanted to move over to there, which would have precluded that firing. Dang it. A little bit of leadership vacuum over there. What are you doing? The problem is they're hiding in the woods. What can I do? What can I say? I'm a little distracted. So we have some melee. Let's go ahead and do this melee first. Austrians are at, because they're fighting a disrupted unit, they're at +2. Tie. The Austrians, that's off by 1. Seriously? So they... Wait, no, hold on. That's actually a tie. They're at -2 because they're disrupted. I'm sorry, they're at +2 because they're disrupted. They're at -1 because they lost last turn. Subsequent melee. So this is a tie. There you go. So this is a 1, this is a 6, a difference of 5 is the loser is destroyed. So Austrians have their first trip to the graveyard. And they have to follow up. So they have to move, well, that's 3 inches, which is exactly what they wanted to do. There's no penalty for moving uphill, but they do have a penalty because they're downhill. So when we do this melee, they're going to be at -1. Be that as it may, we still have another fight over here. Now here we have a heavy cavalry, which is going to be at +2. And because they are... Is there a flank bonus here? No, because there's just the one of them. So they're at +2. They're at... enemies... They're at +4, excuse me. So that's going to be a 3 and a 6, a difference of 3. Loser destroyed. That's 4 AP. You got to follow up. So they're going to move 4 inches. That's the price of destroying the remnants of that group. That's it for the melee. And now it is... Well, wait a minute. Do we do melee here? Yes, we do. Alright, so they're at -2 altogether for a 4. They're at 3. Difference of 1. Loser routes. Turn around. Move 3 inches. And stop just short of that unit. That was a pretty heroic defense there, guys. And you get to be disrupted. Pretty embarrassing. Not gonna lie, that was kind of embarrassing. You're line infantry, what are you doing? 4-2 still, and that's it for melee. Austrians, move and dice reinforcements. Do we get our reinforcements over here? No. Do we get those reinforcements? Yes. So let's do some moving over here. They charge, they move 5, 6, and they charge, so you've got 2 units attacking that artillery there. These guys can move, they got to move 1 inch to cross there. That's 2 inches, 3, 4 inches. So they're going to stop there. These are light cavalry. They can move 4 inches, and then they move 5 inches. They still need to spend 1 to cross that stream. Any other movement? Heck yeah. These guys are going to charge to there. Although it doesn't really matter. Because they're pinned, but they can still move to flank. We will... Heavy cavalry. We're going to go ahead and contact these guys. So we have a cavalry fight there. And any other movement for... No. We're going to try to rally these guys with our leader. And a 1's not going to do it. That would only happen on a 4+. Oh, growl. Wait. It still doesn't do it. But with the HQ, they get +2. All they needed was a 3 up, and they couldn't get it. Kind of embarrassing, Austrians. Russians get to shoot. And shoot they shall. This artillery says, you know what, I don't appreciate what you did. I'm going to take a shot at you. We know they're 3 inches away. So we're going to call that a +1. And we're going to give it an additional +1 for being downhill. And an additional +1 for being disrupted. So we get a +3 to this roll. And a 4 is no effect. Okay, now I'm embarrassed for the Russians. Does anybody want to win this game? Anybody at all? Targeted, and then we've got... Thanks, dog. I live in a zoo, what can I tell you? Do we want to charge these guys next turn, or do we want to shoot them this turn? If we shoot, we can't move. So we're going to wait. But we are absolutely going to charge this feller right there. And we're absolutely going to bring these guys... Oh! Parrot, are you going to bark too? How delightful. And we're going to bring up these reinforcements. Oh, that's heavy cavalry. These guys are a little bit pokey. I feel like I already moved them, though. Yeah, these are reinforcements that came on. No, you know what? What am I doing? It's not the Russians' turn. Russians don't get to move. They just get to shoot. They're not shooting. That's it. So now we got to resolve some melees, and we're going to do some heavy cav on a cav action. They both get a +2. And that is it. So with a result of an 8 for the Russian and a 4 for these guys, not good. Difference of 4. or more, the loser is destroyed. And now, wow, these guys are just running roughshod over these Austrians. They move 4 inches to there, and they get to add, so they're up to 7 points. And we've got combat over here. That is a light infantry, which is going to give them or light cavalry, a -1. Ooh, oh my. -1. So a 5 versus a 1, difference of 4. Ooh, they gambled and it paid off. Loser destroyed. You must follow up. So the light cavalry has to charge that light infantry in the woods. Now they're up to 5, so we got 5 versus 7. We have another melee here. That light... See, I don't know what to do here. I think they need to stop because they can't actually enter the woods. So we've got... I don't know what to do here. I think we're just going to say this light infantry is sniping at the headquarters now. We'll do this combat first. That is a heavy infantry. They get a +1. Regular, so that result is going to be a difference of 1. Loser routes, 3 inches. Oh, shoot, on the routes, I forgot to roll. Every time I do this, I'm supposed to be rolling. This is why it's a test game. On a 1 or a 2, they're destroyed. They're not destroyed, except that... Okay, so it turns out you can route directly to your rear, which is what they're going to have to do. So they're going to make a full move, and they're going to follow up, naturally enough. But they are disrupted, so in the next melee, that's going to be a problem. But at least it resolves the issue of what happens when you retreat into the woods. So we have a melee over here. Austrians, that is a headquarters, which is going to be a -3. Also a -3, so they're both at -3. Those cancel out. And the Russians, the difference of 3 is loser destroyed with an optional follow-up. So the headquarters is gone, and I think that ends the game. Yeah, that's the end. That's the end of the game. We've got 11 AP lost here. So the Austrians, including the Austrian headquarters, a lot of really bad die rolling on both sides here, but it was a useful test game. This is going to be used for a campaign. I've got a map campaign that's going to generate battles for this rule set, and I think it's going to work out fantastic. As I said, I need to do some better terrain. We're going to do some more scale appropriate for the 2mm, and we're going to be doing some mismatched forces. We're going to call, I think, 25%, but because I'm playing solo games to resolve a map combat that has real-world players, I need to be better about understanding the ebb and flow so that I can do justice to the players of the strategic game. But I think you can see how this game works and how there is a little bit more flow than usual, a little bit more back and forth. The attacker's reinforcements along the sides gives him additional flexibility you don't usually see in a simple line-up and smash game. However, he's got to be able to anticipate a lot of different things. He's got to, because he doesn't know exactly when they're coming on. The off-board action is kind of important. And if you wanted to, you could justify, oh, I guess they got up late. They're a little bit late getting to the battle. But that was a very marked part of the Napoleonic era, and that's one of the things that made Napoleon so great, is that he could tell people miles away, I need you to be at X location at a certain time, and they would do it. I'm not Napoleon. The game doesn't let you be Napoleon, but it does mean that with lucky die rolls, you can bring overwhelming force to bear in critical areas of the battlefield. In retrospect, if the Austrians were going to deny the right flank, they should have put both of their reinforcement points over here. They could have brought a lot more materials up and negated this cannon. They could have had a lot more effect over here. So anyway, I think that's a really fascinating game. I'm really looking forward to getting into the intricacies, and I'm hoping that you're looking forward to it too, because if everything goes according to plan, you're going to be seeing a lot of this game. Again, it's 2x2 Napoleonics by Rob Humble. Link in the description. It's a free rule set. A lot of fun. 2mm figures by irregular miniatures. Until next time, I'm praying for you.